What's up, everybody? Welcome to the PixelPlay Sidequest, your bonus content here on YouTube. My name is Adam, aka CS Radical, joined as always, Chris, aka Jin and Chris. So we're back for another remake. Oh shit, we're out of those.
Yeah. It's actually sad. I thought about that this morning. I almost messaged you to go like, "What system is it today?" And then I was like, "Oh no."
I mean, we could just do it all over again and just lie and say, "No, we never did that. What are you talking about?" I just take the videos down.
Content is content. Don't take them down.
No, I'll take them down and then I'll just re-upload them again as time goes. It's foolproof.
100%. Nothing can go wrong there.
No, of course not. But anyways, it's not like anything else has happened. Oh, I may have built a PC.
Oh yeah,
PC
build time.
We definitely did not talk about at any point on the show earlier on Wednesday, because why would I ever do something like that?
Spoiler, we did.
But yeah, so I basically just kind of want to take an episode, because Lord knows I have nothing else in the fucking brain right now to think about. Talk about, obviously the experience of building that. Chris, you've obviously had more experience than me doing it, so talking about other stuff with that, and also just the general trials and tribulations, kind of what to look out for. I don't really know how this video is going to go. We're just going to talk about building the PC and see where the fuck it takes us.
Yes. I was actually going to ask you, because this is your first big PC build I think you were a part of, where you were actually there.
Yeah, and apart from moving parts out of an already established pre-build that I would have bought.
Yeah. So what was it like for you? What did you think of the 7-hour, I think, experience in the end? Maybe 6 hours of actual work.
Yeah, the thing that I kind of realized really quickly, it's the motherboard is going to always be the most complicated part, because there's just so many little things here and there. Granted, we obviously took our time. We were shooting the shit because it was the two of us and then two other of our friends. And we were and obviously you pause for something, and whatever else. But just watching where everything goes, seeing all these different ports for whether it's, the RGB. That's the other thing too. And having all the RGB lights probably didn't help, because we had a bunch of other things that we had to cable about. But, most of it, though, seemed pretty straightforward. It wasn't until obviously turning it on and then realizing, oh, wow, almost none of it works. Great. I love that I spent all of this money and it doesn't work right out of the box. Fantastic. And it goes back to what I've said before. That's why people buy consoles, so they don't have to deal with that shit.
Oh yeah, 100%. Because even though it seems like none of it works, it's actually one, maybe two things.
Well, and as it turns out, as we learned, because I got two 32 gigabyte RAM sticks. On their own, they were fine. But you put them together, fucking catastrophe. Yeah, catastrophe. Sorry, Kaylan, you're not here. And then obviously I literally Amazon overnighted them a new set of it, and I'll go and return it. I didn't know that Amazon now does returns with Staples, so you don't even have to box it and send it out. You can just take it to Staples in the original packaging and they do it for you. I'm like, huh, cool.
Yeah. I've been doing that couple of those. Those are amazing.
Because I hate it when, they're like, hey, you need to return something. Here, you're going to have to print this label. I'm like, I don't have a printer because I'm not living in the fucking 90s.
I have a printer mostly because of Amazon packages. I don't know I've never used it for anything else.
Well, the longest that I have and it's why the Staples thing made so much sense to me, and this is a bit of a tangent, but go figure, us tangenting on the show is not a shock. I always thought, for example, Purelator here in Canada, I don't know what it might be for those in the States, but Purelator is what we usually end up having for returns with Amazon. And they're like, oh, here's a label to print. My thought was always why can't you just give us a QR code so that when we go to Purelator, we go to the desk and we just say, hey, here's this code, and they scan it and it prints the label out.
Yeah. It would make a lot more sense.
We don't live in, it's 2025. A lot of people don't have printers because we don't ever have a need to print anything to paper anymore. Yeah. Everything's digital. So when people were like, "Oh, you got to print something," it's like, "Do I though?" And sure, I think last time I had that, I think I had you print me that label. But I'm like, My other options were go to the library and pay money for that. It's for a fucking single sheet of paper? Why? Gotta be a better way around this, but apparently there is one. It just didn't happen to be the one time I was doing that one return. But either way. But yeah, just literally putting in two different RAM sticks, and it works fine. Now, granted, I've still got some issues that I'm working through. For some whatever reason, my 4 terabyte hard drive, not the SSD, but just a regular HDD, isn't working. Like, it's showing up, but it's not actually got anything in it, even though it's been formatted, from what I understand. And then just some weird kinks, like Bluetooth is... I mean, the Bluetooth drivers weren't installed. That was the first thing I figured out. But even now, for some weird reason, like, I have 2 Bluetooth speakers that I've always used, and the previous computer that I had no problems. They sometimes cut out, and I've noticed that if I start moving, like, the monitor or the cables around, it starts to stutter, and it's very weird.
That is weird.
And then the last thing that I got to figure out is the Wi-Fi, because it's not nearly as strong as the last PC was, which makes no sense.
Do you have the extension thing?
I haven't put it in yet. That was my next thing to try, because I tried a power line adapter, and apparently it doesn't even read the Ethernet, which is also fun.
Oh, wow. Okay.
New PC problems, man.
Yeah, it's definitely drivers. It's very much drivers, and I'll talk you through a little bit of that probably after the podcast.
Yeah.
Because it reminds me of my PC build I did a couple months ago, where it's great. PC builds are fun.
It seems like a month from now I won't have any complaints, but until then I got to figure out a few things here and there.
Oh yeah. When I did mine, I ran into very similar stuff. My network card was uninstalling and reinstalling itself every 10 seconds. So as I was on my computer, I just heard doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo. Like, when you're attaching or detaching something and the computer makes a beep?
Yep.
It was doing that every 10 seconds.
I have a USB cable that once in a while just likes to do that for my phone charger, and I'm like, you okay over there, bro?
Yeah, well, mine was my network card, and I needed that. And it was annoying because you couldn't not hear the sound. So yeah, it was all drivers. It's all stuff, and I'll help you out with that. But yeah, it's a fun thing. I find that PC builds are not for the faint of heart. They're definitely not. They're better with friends, as we also learned on when we did it on the weekend. That's the thing too.
You gotta have some patience, and I knew going in that I'm like, okay, if this works perfectly out of the box, I should buy a lottery ticket right now, because I'm never gonna have better luck in my life.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had one that went flawlessly.
Or at least to the extent of nothing serious that was completely.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. It takes a bit. Usually there's about a week after the build, which is all just the little touch-ups, reinstalls, drivers, the little things that you shouldn't really need to do, but do need to do. And yeah, it's a pain. But then once it's running, you have a super console. You got a super duper console, and plus more.
And certainly with gaming, I already know that, and I'll certainly find out once I'm rendering all our videos again and seeing just how much faster they go through, because also just how quiet it is. I think that's honestly the biggest thing that I've noticed, is just how whisper quiet this machine is. Now, it's a big case. It's a really big case, and I think that's the advantage. I went with this for a couple of reasons. I mean, you guys told me anyway to do it in the first place, but the more I thought about it anyway, I went, well, if I'm going to have my first one, I'm going big. And it means also that any sort of upgrading is going to be way easier to do. And also, as soon as we finished building it, I went, wow, cleaning this is going to be a fucking breeze. Both figuratively and literally.
Yeah. Just taking off the one panel, a little bit of air blowing and vacuuming, and boom, it's
if
done.
anything, the only possibility is going to be that the bottom back of the case where all the cables are might be a bit of a shit show. But I don't care about that, because all I care about is the stuff in the front.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The bigger cases, I hadn't had a big case since my very first build I did in 2013. I was doing always mini ITX and stuff after that, trying to make the console look nicer under a TV, because that's always where mine was. And a massive tower, under the TV, is just very obvious of here's a massive computer. And I went back to a massive case, the biggest one Fractal Design makes. It's crazy where all the sound goes away. My previous PC build, I could hear it across the room. It would be under the TV. It was similar in sound, I would say, to what people have said the PS4 Pro, I think it was, that sounded like a jet engine taken off. That was my PC for sure. Whenever I would use it, my older build under the TV, if I launched into a game. Now, can't hear anything. Turn on Cyberpunk, high ultra settings, and nothing.
Yeah.
It's just those big towers. They're not as pretty to look at sometimes, unless of course you go with what you did with the RGB and the glass side. Oh, then it's so pretty.
Yeah,
But,
there are other cases where I see that they're just big black boxes with nothing to them. I'm like, that's a workstation. Let's be honest.
and that's what I have. Although I put a Razer sticker on the front of mine, so I'm like, look at the big Razer black box. I did it.
I'm still
it's not.
I'm still trying to figure what I'm gonna do with all of the space. I know that one of our friends was talking about having like this little like 3 to 5 inch screen that you can actually kind of stick inside the machine and use it either as like, you put a video there in the background or like a looping GIF or an actual like system monitor. So there's some interesting ideas there. Sticker wise, I have no goddamn idea what I'm gonna do with some of it. I have some funny ideas, but I'm not like at the point of doing that early. I want to kind of let the computer figure itself out for a little while before I start really messing with it.
I used to only have one sticker on my PC, and it was Games Done Quick used to give a big sticker when you'd buy like one of their shirts and stuff. I had two. I put them each on a different PC build, and now I don't have one for this one. So it is a little sad because just having a quick little Games Done Quick sticker on there.
I mean, you had a chance to take some of my leftover stickers and you didn't do it.
They were all ROG and Asus and stuff. The fly's back. For everybody watching the show, there's a fly that's haunting me, but it keeps landing on my monitor and I can't smash that.
Oh, your mic just
so if you see me go like this. Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, it could have been because I was waving around.
Yeah, it's something happened. You're back now. That's look, maybe it could be my new PC. Hey.
Could be the fly. I blame the fly. He's chewing on a cable or something.
Leave Jeff Goldblum out of this, all right?
It's just Jeff Goldblum's like, Chris, you have to help me.
I think that's the one, like, even just to kind of shift to another topic, it's the one thing that I keep now having in my head after a couple of days of this machine where it's like, something's just going to come up and I'm not going to know what the fuck happened. Like, shit's just going to happen. I'm going to have to, like, troubleshoot it.
Oh, yeah. That's another issue with the PCs. I know that Kaylan on the podcast, very console-favored person, does not like the PC game, and it's true. Like, the actual building of the PC, maintaining the PC, it's a game in itself. It really is. You got to like the tinkering. You got to like the customizing. You can get it way better than any console you'll buy and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, it costs more money, but when it comes to the tinkering, you have to like doing it. If you don't, you end up as a person where you keep calling your friends and being like, this is broken. I need you to fix it for me. And your friends won't always be available.
I mean, for the most part, and that's the thing, like, I'm kind of like a middle ground guy. Like, if I can find answers, I can figure out how to do it. There's just certain things where it's like, I've tried like 7 different things and it's not working. So clearly there's one solution that I'm just not seeing and I don't know what it is.
Oh,
like,
100%.
For the most part, like, most stuff that I've dealt with, whether it's been in this PC or the others that I've had before, like, I've been able to figure it out eventually.
Just no.
Sometimes it ends up being the dumbest thing possible.
It's almost always.
You just don't. If there's anything I learned from 2 years of coding, when I was in college and then dropped it because I realized after 2 years of coding, I actually hated coding.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great time to learn when you're nearly done. You've put all that money into it, but it is what it is. The most insignificant shit ruins everything.
Yes. Oh, yeah. It's always something so insignificant. And then you're like, oh, I just need to reinstall my network driver for no reason. But I can't use the one that Windows gives me. I have to go directly to, AMD's website or whoever made your motherboard's website and get the driver for the network directly from there. Like, it's always something dumb. And then you do it and it's perfectly fine. And you're like, damn it. It's such a simple thing. It's clicking 2 buttons, but it's like knowing which ones to click. It is wild. Yeah, but don't worry, you're good. I've seen your problem solving with computers. You're great. You've already got it.
I know I'm in the good spot. I'm in the sweet spot where I'm like, I'm good enough to learn. Just, I probably need more repetition. I mean, obviously, like when it came to actually building it, when it came to like the cooler and the motherboard, I let the experts take care of that because I'm like, if this was like some cheapo machine, by the way, for those curious about it, I'll link the full list of the PC part picker in the description of this video. But I basically spent like $2,600 Canadian on it. So I'm like, look, if this was some like subpar, like intentionally like test ground PC, maybe I would have like looked into it. No, I'm not fucking around with this one. We're not doing that. If it's the first big one, no, I'm letting somebody who knows what the fuck they're doing take care of that part.
Yeah, the motherboard is easily the hardest part. When I did my very first build, I remember like, all right, I know, graphics card, you plug it in, especially at the time, it was like plug in, turn on, driver should install, all that kind of stuff. But then all of a sudden you hit that motherboard with the power supply and all the different hookups that have to happen. It's crazy because a lot of people don't realize, like, when you get a case and it's like, look at all the different USB slots and everything on it. Like, you have to hook all of that up to the motherboard. Even just the power button and the LED light for the power button are actually little spots on the motherboard you have to connect the case to. It is all there. And like the first time I did it, and I still do this each time, I actually take out the motherboard's booklet, like the actual instructions, and follow that front to back. That way I always make sure I never miss anything. It's like, all right, these are the different things I need to connect. Okay, audio, the power button, the LED for that, any RGB, the different fans. Like, it does walk you through it. As I learned in my last build, not always in the correct order. I put in my CPU with the fans on it, and then it was like, okay, now do the RAM. And when I look down, like, the RAM slots are literally underneath that CPU fan. I have one very much like you with the two massive heat sinks and two fans on it.
Yeah,
it can be
it's
brutal.
slightly frustrating that I can't quite see the RAM when I'm looking at it right now, but then I also remember how the temps are in the machine, and I go, it's kind of worth it. Everything else is flashing lights anyway.
Yeah, all you got to do is game with the room lights either off or to, like, kind of like what's going on in here.
Maybe I'll put like a little tiny like glass mirror in the corner of that machine so it reflects some of that off and be like, there it is.
That'd be a genius idea. I think you should definitely do that.
or I could not put like some sharp piece of glass next to a motherboard.
No, I actually wouldn't do that even for a little bit. You'll be fine. You will still see the light from it sometimes.
I see from here. I see the tips. I see enough. I know they're there. Everything doesn't matter though, because all I see is the big ass Radeon 9070 XT card with its lighting, and being like, yeah, that's all I really need to see. It's fine.
Yeah, that's another thing with PC builds. The graphics cards are huge now. I had a 4060, a 460, not 4060, a 460.
I was gonna say, I think like not thickness wise, but like I think in terms of like height or length, if you stand it up, like I think it's as high as an Xbox Series X.
Yeah, they're massive. My 460, my first one was like the size of my hand. Like, that was it. And then I got a 980. Well,
they also would only have like one or two fans at most, whereas this fucking beast has three.
Yeah, and they're so thick. So thick, because even my 980 Ti had three fans, but it was still not that big. It was a lot less thick. It was long, but nowhere near as long as these cards now. And I get it. It's because so much more powerful. They have a lot more like heat sink situation going on, right? They got to pass.
It's a literal RGB brick in this machine because it's just a fucking thick ass metal rectangle.
They're a brick. And also, for everybody listening, we did take a fun video of Adam playing the
it was the opening music of Final Fantasy 12 and me just raising it like, you know, like a newborn, like the next born king was just had come.
It's such a good little quick 5-second video. I sent that to you, I think, or at least to our Discord.
Yeah, it's sitting in one of our Discords somewhere.
It's such a fantastic moment, because it's true. It's how you feel when you're holding those things, because that's like the bread and butter, right? Like, that is the main thing. The reason we're building a PC is so we can put that GPU in there.
Everything else is kind of secondary.
Yeah.
So a couple of quick questions, and then we'll probably take this out because we're already hitting close to 20 minutes. So what do you think the biggest pitfall is for a lot of people when they're getting into buying a PC? Like, what do you think, like, whether it's, you know, they're too cheap on something, or there's just one thing that they're not, like, paying nearly as much attention to, like, spec-wise? Like, what's something that you've kind of seen that's, like, the biggest trip up?
The biggest trip up for me, outside of the mental trip up of just intimidation, I know a lot of people are just, they look at all the like different power cables and that they need to be plugged in from a power supply into a motherboard, and people don't normally think of that stuff. It's just like, oh, which graphics card is it, right? But when it comes to the actual like slip ups, it's usually around the motherboard, and not even about the hookups for it. It is, don't be wrong, that is a huge hiccup. You always miss, every time I've done a build, I've always missed like one power cable from the the power supply going to something. Like I always just miss one by accident. But it's more about just the compatibility, because a lot of people think like, all right, I'll get this powerful RAM. I want 64 gigs. I want a CPU that's this powerful, a graphics card that's this powerful. And you always forget that you need to look at a motherboard that is compatible with all of those things. They aren't necessarily compatible with each other. It's not like RAM, is like only works with a certain CPU, or GPU only works with a certain RAM and stuff. It's always the motherboard, I think, that people get tripped up on, because it's like, oh, okay, I'm buying this CPU. Okay, then your motherboard has to be AM5. Now that you have this motherboard, your RAM needs to be DDR5. It's not compatible with DDR4. You're getting that graphics card. It requires this specific PCI slot. Does the graphics card also have that?
I think that's what makes a site like PC Part Picker so fucking intrinsic to what you're doing.
Yes, 100%, because it does do all those compatibility checks for you, and it is a huge help. It's always good to still check yourself just in case, but I found PC Part Picker to be like 99.9999% accurate.
Yeah, like the one thing it told me really at the time is that, because I got the 7800 X3D, the Ryzen 7 there, and it just told me, hey, with this motherboard, you may have to update the BIOS because it may not recognize it based on how old the motherboard is. And that was it. Everything else is like, yeah, you're going to have more than enough slots. It will fit in this box. Like, everything's going to fit. You're fine.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that's, I would say, actually, that is another thing. People underestimate the size of the GPU. They have gotten so big, and when you're getting a case, it literally tells you the length of GPU that you can get. It does give you the width, but it's usually the length that causes issues. And that's something people have to check, because even when I was building, especially when you're building like a mini ITX case, they're designed to like really use the space to like the smallest form factor possible. And if it's like, you have 52 inches for a graphics card, like you have to look at the graphics card you're buying and then look at the dimensions of it, which not a lot of people think of, right? They're more about like what's power,
which you would think in getting a case that small you would, but obviously some people are just like, well, clearly it's like they have to fit in all cases, right?
Yeah, and they do not. It is surprising. Like even my massive case, if I had left the hard drive tower that's at the front of the case in, my graphics card wouldn't fit, and it's the biggest case available. Or at least one of the biggest cases available, like just like common cases at least. So yeah, it's something that a lot of people, they hit the case and they're like ready to put their graphics card in. They're like, that's not going to fit. And the whole point of this thing is for this graphics card. Like that is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the one thing too, and it's always been a question with people when it comes, like obviously building a PC is the method I went to, but I've also gone with pre-builds before. I would say to people too, like, and this is just me personally, if depending on what your price range is, I think determines on whether or not you should be trying to build. I think the second that you're getting over, let's say Canadian wise, if you're getting over 2,000, you should be building at that point, because you're going to get way more bang for your buck with those parts. When you get to like under 1,000, I think you're probably at a point that like a pre-build's not that bad an option for you, because you're already kind of like unsure on the price value. When you're in that between 1,000 to 2,000 range, I think that's really dependent on what you're looking for.
Yeah, because you can get definitely, no matter what price range you're looking at, you can always get your bang for your buck better with the custom builds. The issue is once you're trying to stay under $1,000 or something, you're probably doing stuff like buying used parts to keep it under. So it's kind of like the risk of getting faulty parts goes up, because like you had faulty RAM. If you had bought that on Facebook Marketplace, you would have been screwed. You would have just been out that money. You wouldn't have been able to return it like if you had bought it from a retail store or something like that, right? So I do agree with you. I would say if you're doing $1,000 or less, a pre-build is fine. Like
you can get some decent stuff. Like I'm even looking on like Canada Computers, which is one of our major retailers. You can get a console right now that's like $800, and it comes with an RTX 3050, which isn't bad, all things considered, for what you're looking for these days.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you're just looking for a PC, it's going to run. You're not going for the crazy.
Like you're okay with 1080p, PC. Like medium to high at best. Like you're pretty good with that.
Oh yeah, I would suggest it for that kind of low price, unless you're just very interested in like building a PC
Yeah.
and you
But like
just still
if
want
it's
to
your
do it
first
anyways.
PC and your budget is sub 1,000, I'd almost say start with a pre-build just to guarantee you're going to get something you want early. And then
Yes.
as you start to get more adjusted to that, then you can start looking into potentially like the only people that I think are building a PC under 1,000 are either people that want to tinker with something or people that are like doing content online for how cheap how good a PC they can make for X amount of money. Like a Linus Tech Tips video of like, okay, here's what we do if we try to cheap out on Amazon and see what we can come up with.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Um, yeah, and like me personally, I love building PCs. I don't think I'd ever go pre-build, but that's only because even if I was making an $800 PC,
You're already
I would
past that
enjoy the
point
challenge.
too. Like you're past the first
Yes.
PCs at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, but once you have that first pre-build, it's nice because then it's like, okay, I'm going to get a new graphics card. It's still compatible. Perfect. You get to practice changing out just one part that isn't the super complicated, motherboard. It's taking out a GPU, doing things like making sure it's compatible, like with the slot you have, the power supply you have, the length of the case. Like you still get that bit of practice, but it's like one part at a time versus, okay, here you go. Here's a bunch of wires and random chips and all that, put these together.
The one thing I would say on the pre-build thing, and this is what I learned with my first one, if you can avoid pre-builds that the cases have no glass, because if you're not sure what's there on the inside, that's a good chance that something's stored really deep in there. Because when I tried to change either the RAM or the NVMe in that, it was a fucking bitch. And also, this was when a CD DVD drive still existed in PC, so it turns out that stuff was hiding underneath the big ass fucking hulking CD drive that was still in that, and you voided the warranty by removing it. So
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah,
other thing
that's
you gotta be
another thing.
careful of. There's a lot of things that people do that are like trying to like get you to void the warranty as well.
Hmm. Yeah, because when you're building your own, it's meant to be opened. It's meant to be, you're doing all the screw driving and all of that stuff, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because at least if you get one with tempered glass, you at least can see like what's actually in it and where stuff's located. So you have a pretty good idea going in that if you do need to upgrade something, you know how hard ahead of time it's going to be. Because unlike me, I was like, okay, putting RAM in shouldn't be that hard, and then staring at the fucking mess of wires and drives in this thing, being like, I'm gonna need a YouTube video for this. Fucking Christ.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What do you think of cable management inside the case?
Yeah, we won't talk about my desk currently, but I mean, again, like it's hard to really give a response on this one because the case is so big that it wasn't really an issue apart from like
Yeah.
trying to figure out how to make certain cables like work and plugging them in. Like,
Yeah.
okay, how we can because the way that the fans were kind of, the motherboard were kind of be like, it's like shit. We really want to put it in this outlet, but the fan's kind of in the way, and it's gonna look ugly as shit if we just have a wire sticking out right here. So it's like, how do we get around that? So like that part's a pain, but this machine is so big that like just stuffing everything in the back where no one's gonna see it didn't matter.
Yeah.
On prior pre-builds that I've had, fucking hate it.
Yes, that's with mine. 12 years ago when I was building my first one, cases weren't not that they were like so much more advanced now, but they didn't really have a lot of cable management built into the case.
It wasn't really a
Like
thought.
it wasn't a thought, right? And then now where we are, glass with the RGB and all that kind of stuff, you
That's
don't
the
want
thing.
the
A lot of
cables in the way.
PCs back in the day were like what every person remembers their school computers being, just a fucking black rectangle that just happened to play games on it.
Yep. And now you get to like the cases have these built-in spots where you like are meant to put all the cables and they hide like on another area behind where the motherboard would be. It's really cool
Yeah,
how
like
cases have
you
kind of
think about what's
advanced with that,
changed,
I
like
think.
the cable managements, the holes, the actual emphasis on airflow with a lot of cases, which did not used to be a thing. It was just there's a vent in the back and a vent maybe on the side for just in case, but that's it. It's like, sure hope your machine doesn't overheat and melt.
Yep. So what would you give your overall then? PC building out of 10.
As a first one, I mean, I love the machine, so it's kind of a 10 out of cheating for it. But in terms of the actual experience, I don't know, it's like a solid 8. Like, there's still a few things that are pissing me off, but that's what I expected.
Yeah,
If you ask me a month from now, I won't really have much else to say.
Yeah, that's PC building in a nutshell. It's an 8 out of 10 once you're done. There are moments when it's 5 out of 10 when you're stuck on something, and then like a month later when it's all done, it's a 10 out of 10.
It's an ever-changing scale until it hits 10 and stays
exactly.
there.
Exactly. Yep, 100%.
Well, I think that just about covers it. We're actually right on 30 minutes, so you know what? It works out really nice. So that's going to do it. Like I said, I'll link below the in the description the PC part picker list so you can see what I'm running with. But yeah, I'm super fucking stoked about having this machine. I already started messing around with it a little bit, at least. I know I did mention on the show earlier on Wednesday that I was messing around with Doom at full settings. So, like, just being able to play something at 4K, 60 frames per second, high to ultra settings, and still not hearing anything next to me is kind of crazy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just really makes you think, like, oh, when am I going to... I'm not playing Doom on console ever again, because that is...
Well, the Xbox is kind of
like
sitting there scared going, ah, shit, now he's just going to... Now he won't need to do anything. He's got Game Pass for PC instead.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That being said, until they put MLB The Show on Xbox, it's safe for now. Or on PC, I should say. It's safe for now.
That's true.
Really, the PlayStation's just kind of sitting there being like, I have games too, to which I go, Sony, no, you don't. You haven't released anything in like fucking 6 years by the sounds of things, it feels like.
It's true. They got Astrobot. I think that's it. Like,
yeah, I could go play some more challenge levels. That sounds like a great, 2-month time.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's going to do it, folks. So, in the comments below, if you got, stuff that you like to share about your PC builds, you want to share some of your trials and tribulations, any tips for people, or, just tell me how much of a nerd I am. I don't care. It's still a comment. It still does something. But while you're at it, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We do appreciate when you do that as well. You see the link tree there at the bottom of your screen, which links to our Discord and some other things that we don't use, as I continue to say here, because we still aren't using them because we're bad at it. But yeah, we will see you on the next episode, and we will kind of figure out what that is, whether it's going to be a new series or if we're just going to keep finding random things to talk about each week until we figure it out.
That's true.
With that being said, everybody, take care. Bye-bye for now.